What's going on, everybody? It's time for another roster breakdown featuring Finch, whichever way. This time I'm going to talk about SK Gaming, formerly Trifecta, a team that I think can do really well this year if a couple things go right. I know a lot of people were kind of high on them towards the end of last year because they suddenly turned it on and were doing really well. Is that transferable to Season 6? I'm kind of up and down about it. I'll break it down a little bit more. Again, I'll be starting with the dual lane because I think that's just the most important area of the map this time. You gotta have dual lane pressure. And they do have a decent dual lane. That's Zapman and Neil, but I'll talk specifically about Zap. If SK can play with Zapman from Worlds, then yeah, this team will be really good. If they end up playing with Zapman from Super Regionals, then I don't know. Especially towards the beginning of that tournament, it seemed almost like he was asleep or he wasn't quite there, and it was to the detriment of the team. I mean, they end up losing that first set and dropping because of it. So it kind of depends on which Zapman ends up showing up. From what I've heard though, he is reinvigorated coming into Season 6. They've already got their move completed a little bit ahead of everyone else, so you know that he'll be comfortable here in Atlanta. If they get the right Zap, the sky's the limit for this team. Neil, his partner in the duo lane rather, his support, I've been a little bit critical of, and honestly, I do think that he probably has the least to do with their success. But that does mean that they have a ton of potential there for Neil to come out and look even better going into Season 6. If they can get the kind of play out of them that a team like Splice gets out of someone like Aurora, or like Pittsburgh Knights will get out of someone like Emilzy, then that could boost this team up immediately. For now though, it kind of feels like we've got a support that's just, giving you normal support play. Nothing too wrong, nothing too great, at least from what I've been seeing. In the middle lane though, that's where you start to see this team's huge star power coming from Paul. My man came up from the SML and kind of took the league by storm last year. I was a big person that was saying, well, this Hobwa guy that plays Bancross Tier 2 start, that's not gonna work in the SPL, right? They're gonna blow him up. Well, I couldn't be more wrong. Not only did that start work, but he was able to play a ton of more traditional stuff just as well as everyone else, if not better. It really felt like at times him and Sanford Soccer, his partner in the jungle, were kind of single-handedly dragging this team through games. And that's a thing that could clearly keep working. It's hard to stop those two. They're just that good, and Paul's a big reason why. Like I said, Sanford Soccer is just as good from that jungle role. He also stepped up into some big time shoes. And Sam, I think, might even get less credit, but deserve more even than Paul at certain times. I mean, Sanford Soccer knows when to play aggressive. He can play just about anything in the jungle role. Rarely is he gonna be the one that makes even a single mistake or cost his team anything. These two players, Sam and Paul, really do raise the bar for this SK team, so I kind of get why people feel like they have a good chance here in Season 6. I don't know if that's going to be enough going into some of these super teams, but it definitely gives them a good case. And then we go to the solo lane with Belair, formerly Scary D, trying out a name change. For what it's worth, I think Belair might be better. This is another guy that I think people are kind of sleeping on a little bit in the solo lane, unless your name is F. For some reason, he's always had Scary D's back, and I guess we kind of started to see why towards the end of Season 5, right? He was stepping up a little bit more than we all expected. This is a team to me that feels like it's greater than the sum of its parts, largely because of Sam and Paul, but then you have pieces like Belair in the solo lane, like Zapman in the dual lane, who can sometimes turn it up, crank it up to that same level, and then that's when SK comes through and can take down world beaters. They're a team with high variance, at least that's how I see it right now. Maybe they'll show us some consistency here in Season 6. Either way, that'll do it for this roster breakdown. Make sure that you check out Season 6 when it comes at you. We're gonna be starting up in March. You don't wanna miss a minute.